If you want your PC setup to be the envy of all your friends or the people in your office, or when you drag everything to that next LAN party, let me introduce you to the brand new Dell UP3017Q 4K OLED monitor. It's a $3,500 4K OLED display, and it's one of the most impressive monitors I've ever laid my eyes on. The UP3017Q is built with the same infinity display that you'll find on Dell notebooks like the XPS 13 and 15, and that includes that super cool touch where there's almost no bezel around the display. Now, as impressive as that looks on a laptop, it's even more impressive on a 30-inch monitor. This means you get a nice cinematic viewing experience, especially when compared to monitors that feature thick black plastic borders surrounding the screen. And then aside from the bezels, the monitor itself is super thin as well. As you can see here, it's less than 1/2 inch thick at the edges of the screen, which gives the hardware a nice premium look. Now, aside from the fact that it's OLED, let's talk about some of the other specs that Dell has put into this display. Because again, it is pretty impressive, and you want to make sure that for the money you pay, you're getting something that works with all your gear. One of the best monitors I've used in recent times is the LG 34UC97. That one has a response time of 5 milliseconds, a contrast ratio of 1000 to 1, and a 61 Hz refresh rate, which basically means it can draw 61 images in a matter of 1 second onto the display. Now, in my opinion, the Dell UP3017Q blows that LG monitor out of the water. Dell's OLED display sports a 0.1 millisecond response time, which is crazy, a contrast ratio of 400,000 to 1, but it still has a similar 60 Hz refresh rate. Dell actually announced this display back at CES 2016, so over a year ago, and they announced it with a 120 Hz refresh rate and a $5,000 price tag. Now, apparently, they couldn't make that 120 Hz refresh rate work, and the rumor was that this OLED display was actually canceled. So it was a surprise to a lot of people when it was released, but it has a 60 Hz refresh rate instead of 120, and because of that, the price instead of $5,000 is $3,500. Still a lot of money, but $1,500 less. Now, speaking of price, of course, that LG monitor that I mentioned earlier is 1/5 the price of Dell's UP3017Q, and it's still a fantastic monitor for anyone who needs a powerful display. The UP3017Q, on the other hand, isn't a reasonable device. It's a luxury item, and the spec sheet and price read as such. You're probably aware, if you've been researching TVs over the past year or two, most of the displays that the average human being can afford are LCDs. I'm talking about the typical edge-lit LCDs that you find out there for a few $100. Not this one behind me. That's the Sony Z9D, and that one is actually $9,000. I did a video on that one a few days ago. I'll drop a link to that video down below, as well as a card here in the video if you want to know why this LCD in particular is so expensive. But generally, LCDs are inexpensive and OLEDs are super expensive. OLEDs offer superior contrast ratios, better viewing angles, better black levels. But unfortunately, along with all those benefits come a few flaws as well. And in particular, one big one is burn-in. OLEDs typically suffer from burn-in and shorter life cycles than their LCD counterparts. Dell says it's taken that risk into account and implemented a pixel shifting algorithm into the display in order to avoid burn-in occurring. And it also has a built-in image sensor to know when you're sitting in front of the display, so that when no one's there, it actually shuts the display off automatically. Obviously, I haven't had the display long enough to see if any burn-in would occur, but if something does happen, I'll be sure to release a video update on the UP3017Q. The Dell monitor is USB-C compatible, which means you just need one cable to plug into a USB-C port or Thunderbolt 3 port in order to use it. And if you plug it into a laptop, the laptop will also charge while simultaneously sending a video signal over to the display. So this is why I've been such a huge fan of both USB-C and Thunderbolt 3. One other possibly negative issue I wanted to touch on was the ports. Most people, when they buy a monitor, are used to these days having USB ports on the side, as well as ports for the SD card on the side as well. The Dell can't do that because it's so thin on the sides, on the edges. So instead, all the ports are around back, no big deal there. But you do have to kind of crouch down and look underneath to see which ports are which. It's not the easiest, but again, once you get things plugged in and set up, you're probably not going to be moving it around too much, but it's just something to be aware of with this monitor if you're used to plugging things in right on the side of your display. As for the verdict, guys, let's be honest. Not many people have the money, or if they do, they don't have the desire to spend $34.99 plus tax on a monitor for their computer. But those who do will absolutely love the look and the experience of using the Dell UP3017Q. I obviously can't speak for the longevity of the device, having just got it about a week ago, nor can I confirm what Dell says about the pixel shifting technology reducing burn-in. But what I can tell you is that this is a gorgeous display that'll captivate anyone who sees it with their own eyes. So if you happen to come into a bunch of cash and you need a 4K monitor, the Dell UP17Q is probably the best you're gonna find. Speaking of OLED, Sony is sending over their new Sony A1E OLED TV. I'm gonna have a video on that soon. But again, I also did just do a review of the Sony Z9D LCD TV. Link to that down below. And be sure you hit that subscribe button. Click or tap on my face when you see it appear here in order to subscribe for free to the channel so you don't miss any future videos. And if you wanna be one of the first to know when I drop a new video, click or tap on the bell icon to get a notification sent to your device whenever a new video is published here. Let me know what you think of the Dell monitor, guys. Would you ever spend that much money on a display? Comment down below and I'll meet you there for further discussion. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Andrew Edwards and I'll catch you in the next video.